Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Gabriel, CEO of Microwize Technology. This is my contact information. I also have a few people with me on the line. Michael Salib, he's the Director of Technical Operation, and Kim Vargas, she's the Product Specialist. And we have also Joe Baker from the Product Specialist with us on the line. Just a disclaimer, anything you learn in this seminar, you need to verify yourself. Microwize cannot be held responsible for any loss of revenue or data. This seminar is being recorded and it will be made public. The agenda today is we're going to talk about the summary of the disaster meeting that Optum held like 2 days ago that nobody understood anything. So we summarized it for you and we transcribed it for you. Then we translated all the jargons that they used. They were hosting a meeting almost like it's an internal meeting for the staff where they expected everybody knows the terminology and the technology and everything. So that was so bad. That was so embarrassing. And I apologize for that. I have no control over it, but we did our best by transcribing the meeting and we summarize it for you. Then we will be open for discussion if you have any questions. We also going to talk about the good error that you will get is the EMF error. And that EMF error, when you get it, then you're very close to be able to submit claims. So I'm sure some of you on this call that have that error, and it's actually a good error to have. We'll explain it to you. And if you still want to change health to something else, we're going to talk about the pros and cons, and we're going to have a Q&A discussion. While the more people are actually joining, I'm going to play an infomercial. We're going to talk about how to protect your own practice as far as cybersecurity, while more people are actually joining. So this is going to be a 2-minute infomercial. Then we will resume the meeting.
Hi, small business owners. Today, we're diving deep into the world of cybersecurity, especially in the aftermath of the Change Healthcare cyber attack. It's a wake-up call for small practices everywhere. Cybersecurity isn't just a buzzword, it's a necessity in protecting your practice and patient data. Let's unravel the cybersecurity best practices for small businesses and set your practice up for success.
But we're too small to be targeted by hackers.
Well, the reality is quite the opposite. Hackers love targeting small businesses because they often lack robust cybersecurity defenses. And in healthcare, where patient data is incredibly valuable, no practice is too small to be targeted. Healthcare is one of the most targeted industries by hackers because of how valuable sensitive patient information is on the dark web. Imagine, just for a moment, what a data breach could mean for your practice. It's not just about leaked data. It's about the trust you lose, the financial strain, and the potential legal nightmares. A breach can truly shake the foundation of your business, affecting everything from patient privacy to your practice's reputation. So, how do we prevent this?
We can mitigate the risk by building a strong cybersecurity foundation. This means more than just installing antivirus software. We're talking about comprehensive strategies like employee training, strict access controls, scheduled off-site backups, secure communication channels, data encryption, and regular risk assessments. First up, employee training. It's vital that everyone on your team understands the role they play in cybersecurity. We need to turn our employees from potential security risks into our first line of defense. Next, let's talk about access controls and data protection. Not everyone needs access to everything. By limiting access to sensitive information, we reduce the risk of internal breaches. Secure communication channels means having a fortified pathway for exchanging information digitally, such as secure messaging apps. And with data encryption, even if data gets into the wrong hands, it remains unreadable and secure. Having robust off-site backups and secure communication channels can save your business in case of an attack. It's like having a safety net, ensuring that your business operations can continue with minimal disruption. Finally, conducting regular risk assessments is crucial. It helps us identify and address vulnerabilities before they can be exploited by cyber criminals. Now, I know that not everyone was able to understand what everything I just said really means. This is where Microwize comes into play. We understand the unique challenges small healthcare practices face, and we offer tailored managed IT services to help protect your business from cyber threats. With Microwize, you get more than just a service provider. You get a partner who's committed to your cybersecurity.
To wrap up, I want to encourage each of you to take your cybersecurity seriously. It's an investment in your business's future and in the trust of your patients. With the right practices and a partner like Microwize, you can secure your business against the evolving threats of the digital world. Thank you for your time, and let's make cybersecurity a priority for all our businesses. Don't compromise. Build Microwize.
So I also have a special guest with us, Robert Dominguez. Robert Dominguez is one of our senior technical people that usually he doesn't join our seminars because he's always so busy serving clients. And I'm sorry that I didn't create a card for him today, but he's with us and he's going to actually talk about a lot of the things because he's the one is doing a lot of the work with Michael to get people back up and running. So I will turn it here to Michael and Robert Dominguez. So all I know is when you get this error on the screen, it's actually good news. Okay. So Michael, take it from here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I know it's been a very long 7 weeks, almost couple months, but like Robert said, we have great news. I know the meeting from Optum wasn't too informative. We kind of dismantled that meeting a little bit, and then we found out a little bit more information that's beneficial for everybody. So the error message that you're getting is basically that's your mailbox that your claims go to. The fact that you're getting a mailbox error message means your password has been changed, which means you're about to come back up and be able to send your claims again. With that being said, Optum is providing those passwords to some clients depending on how your account has been set up with them originally. So if you are under Microwize Direct, we will most likely have that password for you. And that's what our team is doing is we're connecting to every server and we're putting in the new password to be able to get your claims up and running and you're able to send claims right away. If you are not under the Microwize Direct umbrella and you have an old connection to Relay, that basically means you will most likely have to call Optum to be able to be provided with the password. If you are unable to get the password from Optum or they refuse to give it to you, do not take offense to it. They just don't know. They might not know who you are as the individual, and they know that you're part of Microwize, and they will only provide that password to us. So if that's the case, I urge you to not freak out. Your password is ready. Your password will be ready. Your account will go up, live to be able to send claims. All we're asking from you, if you're unable to get your password, please send an email to support@microwize.com. That includes your practice name, includes your contact information, include your submitter ID, and let us know that you're unable to get the password yourself. That's the only way we're able to get the password, and we're able to know who needs the password reset. Based on that, we've helped a good amount of clients so far. They were able to get reports. They were able to send claims. Connect Center is not up and running yet. So do not expect to be able to log into Connect Center just yet, but you will be able to get reports, which are 999 reports that say that your claims have been received by the clearinghouse and then been processed to the payer. With that being said, that's the update on the EMS password. And Robert Dominguez, please feel free to tag along if you have
So
more
Michael,
updates.
before Robert, talks the technical part, can you tell us what is the steps if somebody start to see this error that I was mentioning?
The only thing you have to do is one, let us know. The first step they have to do is just let us know. If we have the password for you, we were able to get passwords for everybody that, again, they're directly connected with us and Change Healthcare. And those are the passwords that we're updating in your system. Even if you don't see us on the screen, we're doing that on your server. And we will be communicating with your practice to let you know that you're ready to go. If you get the error message,
I'm sure you're swamped now. What are the best methodology that people can get hold of?
Support@microwize.com. I know everybody wants to have the verbal assurance that we know who you are, and we do know everybody, and we are trying to get to everybody. But if you are unable to get to someone on the phone, you don't want to be on the phone, your absolute best case scenario is to send an email with your name, your practice name, your submitter ID. This email box goes to 12 different people, and one of the 12 people is going to help you. So I know everybody wants to call.
If I was a client and I sent to support@microwize.com, what do I expect? How do I know that somebody got the email?
You will be able to, as soon as an email comes, a ticket will be created and a ticket number will be responded in that email, plus that email will automatically get an email that says a ticket has been created for you for the EMF login issue. And
But
that's
are
when you
you
know
going
that
to
you're,
reach out, are you going to reach out to me within an hour, within a day, within a week?
we're taking tickets as they come. We're taking clients' requests as they come. And I know, again, everybody is under pressure to get claims out. We're trying to get to everybody as soon as possible. We're looking in about 48-hour turnaround with incoming versus the list that we're going through internally anyway. If your name happened to be on the list that we're going to internally, you're still going to have a ticket open and you're still going to get a response and your issue will be resolved. But we're looking at about 48 hours and we're trying to pull staff to kind of get work done through the weekend and after hours as much as we can. But we're looking at 48 business hours just to be on the safe side and set expectations properly. If Robert, you're asking a question or if you're talking, I think we lost you.
So, Michael, I'm not happy about the 48 hours, but we need to do something about it. It's a long time. Yeah, after all this.
It's understandable, and trust me, we're getting to everybody as fast as we can, and I know everybody wants their claims out first, but especially if we don't have your password or if your password is incorrect, we have to call Optum and then we have to get a new password for you. And it's not just
Microwize. If they're on Microwize Direct and you have
a list, we're working on updating all the servers. Yes, we have a dedicated person that all they're doing is updating passwords. And as soon as
if I understand this correctly,
Microwize
if they are on Direct, you're updating the password in the background.
That is correct.
They're not going to get the error.
That is correct. But if you're getting the error and you are under Microwize Direct, we have not basically made it to your account just yet. Again, we have hundreds of accounts that we have to go through, and it's impossible for us to.
If I understand correctly, is you updating all the Microwize EDI Direct in the background. So if I was one of your client that I Microwize EDI Direct and I'm pretending I'm sending and it goes through and I get the report, then you did your work in the background and I don't need to make any phone calls.
That is correct. But even with Microwize Direct, when we do that, we're still making a ticket and we're still sending you an update that your password has been updated. So you also have it for your records. We're not just updating passwords and moving on. We're updating a password. We're testing to make sure we're able to receive reports. And then we're making a ticket. We're the main contact of the practice. And then we're sending you an update that says your password is ready to go. And you can start sending your claim. So we're doing all of that.
So if I get the error, that means either you didn't get to me yet, or I'm not Microwize EDI Direct.
That is correct. And if you're not, please email us with your practice name, submitter ID, and a best contact information for you so we can get your password unlocked. And we've also made a step-by-step on how to do it personal. Like everybody can do it. It takes literally 3 clicks to update your password. If you're confident enough, by all means. If you are not and you want us to do it, that's totally fine. Just please email support instead of calling, just because wait times are increasing just because everybody wants to get in. But if you email, it's going to be a much faster response.
Michael, this is Dr. Parikh. How do I know if I'm a Microwize Direct or am I something else? If I'm paying money to Microwize every month, does that mean I'm Microwize Direct?
You could be either one, Dr. Parikh. And again, if you're getting the error message, just please send an email to support that indicates that you. Okay.
I did.
I'm almost positive if you're paying your EDI monthly directly to Microwize, most likely you are EDI Direct. Yes.
And how do I find my practice ID number?
Your practice ID number, or you mean your submitter ID?
Submitter ID. Sorry, I apologize.
Your submitter ID is in the steps that we had sent when you were filling the Optum form.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you're finding your submitter ID. Exactly.
Okay, got you. All right. Thanks.
No problem.
Okay. So Robert, is there anything for Robert?
Mr. Dominguez, are you with us?
Just to add on am I Microwize Direct or am I something else? A good way to tell is going to be with your submitter ID. If you were on the older accounts, which is pre-Microwize Direct, usually they'll have a P in front of your submitter ID. The Microwize Direct clients will have a T in front of your submitter ID. So that's a good way of telling which account you are. Both of them will most likely have the ability to submit claims soon. The Microwize Direct will get those taken care of as soon as possible. And then the people that are on the older Relay accounts, those might be emails or contacts that will come from Optum saying that we need to update your password. So if you get that information, just let us know and we can help you enter that in or we can send you documentation on how to do that.
I think we have a few questions that we would like to go through. So Kim, if you would like to go through the questions and let's answer them one at a time.
Michael, before we get into the question, let's talk about the pros and cons if somebody still wants to switch.
Sure. So if you're looking to switch to eMedics, the pros are it's an all-in-one. Again, it's made by the same company, which is CGM that makes Medisoft. Your integrated eligibility it's there. You will be able to schedule your eligibility and have it run overnight. It also has an enhanced eligibility for a feature or an option that's basically called the No Surprise Act, which is basically allowing your patient to know what could potentially be out of pocket before the service gets rendered, which is something that a lot of practices can and should benefit from instead of having to chase patients down and trying to collect from them with payments after the service is done. The other big thing is if your office does, prior authorizations are going to be mandated to be done electronically mid 2025, potentially could be earlier. That means it's something that will be your office have to do. It cannot be done over the phone anymore. It has to be done electronically, and eMedics does have that ready or will be ready in probably the last quarter of this year. The cons on the other side is changing payer IDs in Medisoft because you have to accommodate what eMedics has, and enrollment time. Granted, enrollment time could vary. It could be almost same day as enrollment for some commercial payers. We do have a list of the top 25 insurances that we can and we will be sharing with you on what their turnaround time is when it comes to enrollment. Somebody like Medicare could be 2 to 3 weeks. Blue Cross could be 60 days, depending on really how fast they're getting things done. But those are the average time. But again, not every payer is the same. Not every state is the same. So it all depends on who your major players are that you send claims to. And that's the overall pros and cons if you move to eMedics versus staying with Change Healthcare.
Okay, I guess let's get into the Q&A.
Excellent. Kim, you want to take it away?
Sure. So one of the questions that we have here is, what is Microwize Direct?
So Microwize Direct it is what it sounds. So we do have a direct access to Change Healthcare. So you're bypassing anybody in between, and we're getting your claims out from your practice directly to the clearinghouse. So
Michael, I have a simpler answer. It's
Sure.
the same Change Health, but it's you paying the money to Microwize. Okay, so that's really the simpler answer. So we are a reseller of the Change Health. So if you paying your money monthly to Microwize, we call that Microwize EDI Direct, which is still Change Healthcare. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay. The next question that we have is saying, Optum mentioned that not everyone will be able to send claims right away. They said there are 3 phases. I guess maybe just looking for clarification on that.
Yeah, so I think to my understanding, and Robert Dominguez, correct me if I'm wrong, the phases are depending on how you were typically set up to send claims. So you have an SFTP option. You have the real time, which is most of you guys are on. Unless you were formerly working with Capario, then you are uploading claims, and there is, I believe it's called One Health. Robert Dominguez, correct me if I'm wrong. That's the name of the upload.
One Health ID. You might be familiar with that site. You had to log in to upload the claims. I think the confusion really is that Optum kind of lumped everyone into just one clearinghouse, and Change Healthcare has many clearinghouses under their umbrella. So everyone was submitting claims differently.
Yeah. But from a phase perspective, again, if you've just been clicking send and then your claims go and then you're clicking download reports and your reports come down, then you are most likely able to get your claims out now. Again, just let us know if you're getting the EMF. You can email us. If you are, like Robert mentioned, the submitter IDs versus T or P, then that would be a way for you to find out. But if you're totally unsure, just send an email to support with your name and submitter ID, and we will update either your server if we have access to it. If we do not, and if your server is hosted on premises at your office, then we will be contacting you to update the password. We will also be sending out a step-by-step instruction if you are Medisoft or if you are Lythic and you happen to get your hands on your own password, the steps on how to update that password in your system so you can start sending right away, which we'll be sending those along with the recording of this meeting after we're done.
So question, Michael, if we are on the list with you and we've been paying directly to you monthly, why don't you automatically send us all of this stuff rather than waiting for us to send you an email to ask you for a password and this and that?
You're not asking us for a password. You're letting us know if your mailbox is unlocked or not. If you keep trying and your mailbox is unlocked and you're on our list, we'll eventually make it down to your practice. If you are not on our list, we will need to know from you that you're unable to get in. It's going to be impossible for us to look after every account that we do not have access to and assume that you're either in or out.
Let me add a few things to Michael's answer. Number one is Michael said that if you still get the error, then we didn't get to your account. We didn't get to your account. It could be for multiple things. You're not on our cloud, okay? Or maybe, you're not a Microwize direct, or something went wrong, or we didn't get to you yet.
Or we don't have access, to your server. Because
Actually, Amal tried to call you last week and tried to work with several people of you. So
there was nothing to do. There was nothing to do last week, Dr. Shaker.
Yesterday, we didn't have enough information. So so let's just we have a lot of questions. So let's get to the question, Dr. Shaker, and we work with you offline.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. So the next one we have is, are all payers ready to receive claims once we have our password updated?
We personally have not heard from Optum saying refrain from sending to specific payers. So my only suggestion would be to send and just make sure you're receiving reports.
The next question we have is, Optum urged all to register on community.healthcare.com to receive communication on restoration. I tried and the website wouldn't register me because they couldn't find my practice. Reason for this?
I don't really know how to answer that question. My only guess would be you might be listed under the provider versus the practice name. If you do have an option to put a submitter ID, maybe try to put the submitter ID and put your name and then see if that goes. If you're unable to, just send us an email and then we can try to see what your practice is listed under.
Next we have, if my submitter ID starts with P, when will I be able to submit my claims?
It's not about when, it's just about if you can get the password or not. So that's the case, just let us know, email us with your submitter ID and we'll tell you if we have your password. And if we do, we'll work with you to get it going. If we're unable to get the password, then we'll advise you to call Optum and get the password. It depends on how you're set up. But if you email us your practice name, your submitter ID, we'll be able to have a little bit more information.
Next, we have, our submitter IDs changing with Optum. After we change the password, can we send to all payers or only some payers?
Your submitter ID is not changing. The only thing that's changing is your mailbox password, which is the EMF. Your submitter ID remains the same. Nothing should be changing on what payers you've been sending to versus what you're going to send to now.
I'm sorry, I meant to say payer IDs for each.
Oh, no, payer IDs, nothing is changing. Nothing is changing on the payer ID side.
Thanks.
So especially for the one on Microwize Direct, as soon as we change the password for you, life will go back to before the hack.
There's a slight disclaimer with that. Yes, it will go back, but you also just keep in mind that there are hundreds and thousands of providers sending claims. So if you notice a delay of reports, just be patient. This was communicated from Optum that they're getting a lot of claims going and they're trying to facilitate reports from before the hack along with anything that's new. So if you are not getting reports right away, just give it a day or two. Don't be alarmed if you're not getting reports instantly or if it was an hour or two before and now it hasn't been and it's been over 2 or 3 or 4 hours. Just be patient with the reports, please.
The next one we had was, it seems a bit more of a statement. Maybe there's a question in there. I received an email from Optum that stated your RPA user ID will be restored on 4/11/24. At that time, you'll be able to submit claims using direct data entry feature or batch portal submission.
The direct data, I am not too familiar with. Robert Dominguez, please tag along if you can. And then the upload, my guess is an SFTP way of sending claims. It's the file upload. It's not the real time. But Robert, please tag along if you have an answer to that question.
It sounds like they're referring to the web portal where you go to One Health ID to upload a claim file. So if that's the case, we're looking to get more information on how to get your access to that website. Was hoping to get an answer today, but just check back with us Monday. We should have more information, hopefully, on getting that access back to you so that you can upload claims.
Now, Robert or Michael, is that where they were saying phase A and phase B?
It's a possibility that they were referring to a different phase that was going to be released. It has to do with the terminology that they use. So they kind of mixed different clearinghouses. So we're just trying to get clarification from them.
Okay. Do you guys understand how Change Health operated here? they owned multiple clearinghouses and each one uses different technology. And they're expecting you to use all the jargons, they're expecting everybody understands their internal jargons. And unfortunately, you don't. So the only thing we understand now is the ones that start with a T. Those are the ones that get in the errors, the EMF error. And we're able to reset that and we get you up and running. There's already people are sending claims as we're speaking. So hopefully that if your submitter ID with a T and you are getting that EMF error, we will be able to get you up and running quick. We still don't understand what the phase 2 or the phase B. I think that was supposed to be like next week or something.
The next we have is direct Microwize can replace Change Healthcare. It is the same. Microwize Direct is our term
Change Healthcare.
for it, but
Yeah.
Microwize Direct is Change Healthcare. Where is the sign of rejection? I believe the only place we can see that right now is in the report coming back. Is that right, Mike?
That is correct. Yeah, you won't have access to Connect Center just yet. We're still trying to figure out how they're going to handle that. If they're also going to reset password or the website might redirect you to a different website, but we don't have an answer on that just yet.
Now, what I'm doing is I'm committed to you guys every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to host this meeting until you don't need me anymore. We're going to host it and we're going to brainstorm and share with you anything we learned and everything we learned.
Next question. What is EMS standing for?
Electronic mailbox.
I think you got me on this one too. I was going to say electronic mailbox,
Let's
but
make
the
up
official
something,
terminology.
electronic mailbox file. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's basically what it refers to.
It's a good, I don't care what it means. It means that you're going to be up and running quick if you get that there.
Sure.
Next, email to support@microwize.com. Correct. Yes, that is correct. It is support@microwize.com. Where do we see the error message? It is if you are trying to send claims, right, Mike?
That is correct. Try to send claims or get reports is going to tell you an EMF login is incorrect, and that's when you know that your original one has been
This
decommissioned.
is Dr. Parik's file that he sent me. So I apologize for sharing this with everybody, Dr. Parik, but this is what it looks like.
Next, my largest payer, Cigna, posted an update on 4/1 stating they are not connected to Change Healthcare yet. So if we are sending claims, not all payers are ready.
If that's the case, then my recommendation to you would be to send whatever claims that can go through Change Healthcare. And then with Cigna, you might want to contact them and then see if you can send claims directly on their portal. You can get your claims out, unless you're willing to wait. And that's, of course, ultimately your decision. But if you do not want to, then their portal, most of insurance companies have portals that you can send claims on. Or again, eMedix would be another option. And then that would go through the enrollment process.
Next, this is actually the same person that had the question before about the direct data entry. Do I need RPA password or I'm set to transmit the claim? This is the RPA user ID will be restored on 4/11/24.
That's the part that we don't know. We're trying to gather information on the manual submission. So we do not have an answer on that just yet. Like Robert said, we were hoping to get an answer today, but we haven't been able to. So we're hoping to have something by Monday or Tuesday. The hope is definitely before the 11th when they restore that functionality, but we don't know the answer to your question just yet.
Next, looking at our submitter ID, I only see a 7-digit number. Our EMS login, is this number preceded by an M? Does this mean we are direct?
I think that's Capario, if
Yes,
I'm not
the-
mistaken.
Provider IDs, or excuse me, submitter IDs that start with an N as in Nancy or M as in Mary. A little background, M means migrated. But those particular logins or submitter IDs were for Capario, formerly known Capario, which is now Change Healthcare. And those particular clients were submitting claims through a website. It used to be capario.portal.net or .com or something like that. And then they started to switch it so that you have to use the One Health ID to log into that site to upload claims. But it's a web portal file upload. And those are the ones we're waiting from, getting more information from Change Healthcare on how to regain access to the One Health ID portal. Because if you log in now, it will say that it will let you in, but it will say that you don't have access yet. So we're just trying to get information
phase
from
B. I'm assuming it's phase B. So
Could be.
Okay. How can I change from my old account to Microwize Direct? I currently had a P in my submitter ID.
Let's wait until the dust settles and we'll talk about, all the changes I will not touch anything now because anything you do now is going to delay things. So let's just wait.
How do I know if I'm getting this error message password you're talking about? Is it when I try to submit claims? Yes. Or get reports through your revenue management? Are they changing the username and password both?
Just the password that's changing.
If we pay change directly, please explain where we stand.
If you're paying change directly, then you'll most likely be able to call and get your own password. They'll be able to give it to you actually if the account is under your name and you're not under anybody.
Michael, can you share a phone number, please, with everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get that for you. The phone number for Optum is the following. It's 800-543-4997. The first question they're going to ask you, what's your submitter ID? As soon as you give them that, they will verify who you are, and they will either share the password with you, or they will ask you to have your vendor call, which it will be Microwize in that case. And unless you're completely under a different vendor, which I'm hoping not, then yeah. But if you are part of our Microwize, then we're your vendor. So if you have to give it to you, then they'll give it to us.
So, Michael, can you put the phone number in the chat, please, so everybody will have access if they didn't have time to write it down?
Yep, I am putting that right away.
Next, if I am not connected to Microwize Direct, can I still get help from you?
If you have a valid support agreement with us, then yes. If you don't and you are confident in making changes on your own, we're more than happy to share the step-by-step that we have for you to be able to change the password internally. Yes. But if you are not under Microwize, we might not be able to get your password. So if you do have the password, then no, let's have to work and then we can guide you through the rest. Yeah.
Okay. We are not SFTP. When can we expect to be up?
If you're not SFTP, then you should be able to get up soon. And if you're sending claims directly real time, or the one-click send and one-click download, then you should be able to send as soon as we have a password, the new password entered in your system, or if you have the new password, we just, update your system. I can share the 2 documents that I have. They are uploaded now, so anybody can download them in the chat. If you are a Metasoft user, download the Metasoft document. If you're a Lytic user, download the Lytic document. And that will guide you on how to change your password once you have a new one, if you do.
Next, just to clarify, does the password need to be changed on our server or on each remote workstation?
The password needs to be changed on one machine that has access to revenue management, and it goes to every single machine that you have in your practice that uses revenue management.
Next, will claim submission deadline be extended due to the time offline, I suppose?
I don't think we'll know the answer to that. I think that's something the clearinghouse would probably work out with the payers, unless payers they understand the severity of the situation and they're just operating on good faith and extending that for everybody. But Microwize will not know the answer to that.
I will submit it, and if you get rejected, it's going to be very easy to challenge it.
Yeah. How would I know if I'm SFTP?
If you're sending claims and you have to go to a website to upload a file, then you are. If you are click and the file goes, then you are not.
Next, I submitted the forms and have not heard from anyone yet. I presume the Optum forms. I have 2 practices that we bill for. My main concern is to be able to bill to Medicare. Should I try to send claims, and if I get error message, send an email to support to get the password reset?
Yes, please. If you try to send claims and you get the EMF, then that means your account has been locked and a new password has been generated, and it's just a matter of entering in your system. So test it first, and then we'll let us know what you get.
Now, what's funny that I don't think I understand, or anybody on this call from my team understands, why did you have to fill that smart form that they send us? Because we don't see it how it plays it here at all. It's sad to say that maybe they were buying time, make you feel that you're doing something. I'm sure that would be the dumbest thing, but we have no idea why did we have to fill that. So it doesn't play here at all. So if you get the EMF error, it's a good error to have, and that means you're so close to be able to reset your password and keep sending claims the way you were sending before.
Is there an ETA as to when Connect Center will be back up and running?
We do not know the answer to that question yet.
How long will it take for the password reset so I can send my claims electronically?
If we have the password, or if you have the password, I know initially I said 48 hours, and I'm trying to be fair in the sense of, to try to get to everybody. So I'm hoping the 48 hours is a worst case scenario. The goal is to be as quick as possible. And again, if you are somebody that's comfortable making or following 3 steps, 3 screens to be able to update your password, by all means, download the file that I attached to the chat and then attempt to do that. If you are not, please email us so we can help you.
If paper claims are already submitted, should we also send them again electronically?
If you didn't get paid, yes.
I would
Well,
agree.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Robert, go ahead. You were say something?
Yeah, I would agree. Paper is really slow. And if you want to send it electronically, there's a good chance that it will beat the paper submission just because it takes longer to process paper. So submit it electronically, I think is perfectly fine. First one that gets there, the payer will decide, hey, we've already paid this particular claim. We're not going to pay you again. So I guess the point is
worst
getting the
case
claim there
scenario
as
is
fast
you'll
as
get a
possible.
duplicate.
Worst case scenario, you get a duplicate or you get paid twice, which is, I will survive.
Well, they'll take it back. You're not going to be able to
They'll
keep it,
take it back 2
unfortunately.
years later.
They'll take it back, but at least you got paid twice, not just once. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is the submitter ID the same as the user ID?
For most cases, yeah, the clients that have changed to, it has been the same. It might be your submitter and then a name after, but it could be very similar. If the two are the same on your side, then just send us the submitter ID. Yes. But the submitter and user are almost identical, just flip, and the username might have a little bit more letters than numbers.
Okay. I called and they would not provide the password to me. They told me to have my vendor call, just as Michael said. Yeah. So in that case, we may already have the password, is possible, but feel free to send an email to support@microwize.com and we can look into that for you. Okay. Sorry to be redundant. If we get the error message, what steps do we take next?
If you get the error message, send an email to support@microwize.com with your user practice name, contact information, and submitter ID, and we will facilitate from there.
If we're paying change directly, then we are not Microwize Direct. If so, when do you think we will be able to submit claims?
If you're paying change directly and you're able to call and get your password, you can download the document that I uploaded and you can change your password and you'll be able to send claims right away. There's no delay if you're paying them directly versus paying Microwize. As long as you have a password and follow the directions, you should be good. And if you're not confident of doing it yourself, that's totally fine. Just let us know so we can assist you.
And by the way, if you pay in Microwize Direct, the accounting department start issuing credits for if you've been charged already for this month, and you will also see a credit for last month. Unless you use your credit to move to eMedX, we apply that credit toward your enrollment.
What happens if I don't get the error message?
Then you're God's favorite, honestly. If you don't get the error message and you're able to send claims, just the only thing that I urge you to look after is our reports. And if you're not getting reports, then most likely something is not right. And we'll have to look at your account and see if the account is either locked or something happened or, whatever it is. But if you're not getting the error message, send your claims, make sure you get reports.
How do I get on the Change Healthcare website to see if my claims were submitted? What is the URL? The old URL does not work.
I'm assuming you're referring to Connect Center. And if you are, we don't know what the new URL is. We do not have an ETA on when it's going to be up, if it's even going to be the same URL. So that information is unknown to us at the moment.
Would you please explain again what the letter before the submitter ID means? For example, T, M, P, etc.
To my understanding, T is Microwize Direct, P is Change Healthcare, M is formerly known as Capario, which is migrated. So that's the file upload, not the direct connection. Robert Dominguez, correct me if I'm wrong. Did I get those correct?
Yes, some clients had an N as in Nancy, and some of them will have an M as in Mary. But both of those are going to be formerly Capario or the Phoenix, is what they used to call it, type of submission. So those were migrated to website upload, which would use the One Health ID to be able to access and upload claims.
Okay. I paid the clearinghouse directly, but when I called Optum yesterday, they wouldn't give me the password and stated my account is managed by Microwize. How can I get my password updated?
Email support@microwize.com. Your name, practice name, submitter ID, please.
So in the old days, we were not like a direct reseller to Capario or Change Healthcare or whatever you want to call it. So people were paying the clearinghouse, but we were your vendor. Then we made an agreement with them that we will have people under our umbrella. We do the first line of support, or all support actually goes through us. You're paying us directly, and that's where we called it the Microwize Direct. But it's still the same clearinghouse, but with a different relationship with the Change. So we didn't have that from day one. That was something we added probably the last 10 or 12 years.
If my submitter ID starts with a P, when will I be able to submit my claim?
There's no difference between P and T. It's about having your password. If you have your password, share it with us, or if you have your password, download the document I uploaded, depending on your product that you use, and change it. And if you do not have your password, let us know so we can get your password and contact you so we can update your system.
But I would advise them to try to send one claim. And if it goes through, that means maybe if they're in the cloud, you changed it in the background already.
It's just going to be hard for us to know what everybody's doing, but we're going down our cloud servers, like Robert said, and we're updating password as we go. So we're hoping to get those done. And again, we're not ignoring non-cloud clients. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware we're handling everything as it comes. So cloud is just an easier access for us. But if you are hosting your own data, or if you have your data in your office, then we will be contacting you. So just keep that in mind.
Send us the process to start billing without being connected to Microwize Direct, so I don't have to bother you once I have the password.
The 2 documents have been attached into the chat. Just basically, if you scroll up to 3:47 p.m., you're going to see 2 documents. We will be also attaching those documents in the email with the recording. But if you're able to scroll up to the chat, they were sent to everybody. All you have to do is just click on it and it will download. Just pick the product that you use. Do not pick Lythic if you use Metasoft and vice versa, because the options are not the same to get to the screen that you'll need to change the password.
Where do we see this error that we spoke about? The error is going to be if you are trying to send claims or receive reports in your revenue management. Let's see. So this is actually an add-on to the client that was asking about the URL. It says my submitter ID starts with an N, like Nancy. I can't access the One Healthcare website to check on claims. Should I switch over to Microwize Direct?
I wouldn't make
No.
changes like Robert said. Yeah. Just wait until your One Health ID comes up, which I believe somebody had mentioned. I think it was 411. And we're hoping to have answers for you on that before then. But yeah, don't make changes, please. Don't rock the boat. Things are already crazy and you want to get your claims out. And then we can decide on, or we can make changes later once you get your claims out and get money back into your practice.
The client that was asking about they called for the password and they were told that it's under Microwize. They said, I already opened a ticket with support. Do I just wait for my turn?
That is correct. We're making our way down that list. So we will get to everybody as soon as we can.
Dr. Preek is asking to walk through the steps for the password. Yeah, Doctor, we have the document up in the chat there that has all of the steps for you to go through. I think that's all the questions that are here so far. We do have Irene thanking us for doing what we do.
Thank you. And again, it has not been an easy, 7 weeks, and we totally, I guess, I don't know if I can say we totally understand how frustrating this is, but we try, trust me, we're not just sitting and doing nothing, but it has been a long process and it has been a very tedious and stressful process, but there's light at the end of the tunnel and everybody will be up and running soon. Just bear with us because there's just so many accounts that we have to change. And like Robert said, we're going to be hosting a meeting for the next 3 to 4 weeks every Friday at the same time to update everybody. And the goal is to not see as many of you on those meetings. And I mean this in the nicest way possible. That means you're sending claims, you're getting paid. So if I don't see you here, then that's great. So that's the goal of those meetings. Yeah, we thank you for your time.
Right. So see you everybody next week. And as soon as we have new information, you will know about it. And if not, we will meet next Friday, same time, and we'll share as much information as we can share.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody.